Well, we all know New Jersey is home of the New Jersey Devil, or the Jersey Devil, not the New Jersey Devil, and it presides mainly in the pine bearing. So I'm going to come up with this new concept. Did you ever hear of a Jersey Devil drone? Hey, that could be something be used by the Patriots of New Jersey, because what you could do is get a drone, dress it up like a Jersey Devil that still flies, and then go into the Raritan River, make some sludge balls and stuff like that, and you can have it like a sludge ball bomb release from the Jersey Devil drone that lands on stinky politicians, which they won't even notice the smell anyway. So that could be something that patriots can use. And to tell you the truth, I would never move up to New Jersey again. If I did, I'd probably live in a tunnel like this. Um, I would have my property as a farm property. I would sell $500 worth of agricultural produce to make my real estate taxes real low. I would have my vehicles, which are antiques now, so they would not be subject to New Jersey, what do you call it, pollution emission laws and inspections and things like that, because they'd be registered as antiques, and I'd have Haggerty classic car insurance on them. So I'd avoid a lot of I still wouldn't move there. But I want to point out something that, you talk about the taxes up in New Jersey, and this is one of the reasons you got to have a Jersey drone, because you got to talk back to these politicians. They crap on you, you crap on them. You get that Jersey drone flying up there, fill it up with some, Raritan River sludge balls, and take off and land them on Phil Murphy Buzzard's head, But anyway, I want to talk about this too, because this goes to show you just how much things have changed. Boston Tea Party takes place December 16th, 1773. So, almost like today's December 17th, 2019, we're talking about this. So almost, to the day when it happened. Um, this I'll cut right to the chase. This is what really got, you would think a lot of people think that the tea tax was something that was causing the tea to be more money. No, and in fact, it was actually causing the tea to be less money. What they did was they relieved the British East India Company of a tax, and in turn put a tax on the goods themselves, so that they could be exported. So the overall price of the tea to America, by having this tea tax, because the British East India Company was relieved of their tax, they because what they had was the indemnity tax of 1767 was remove certain taxes on the company was expired, right? Caused the price of tea to go up. So when they put that back in effect, they didn't have as much tax on the company. The company was able to sell the tea cheaper, where the British were going to get their money was a direct tax on tea. So, but still, the actual overall price of the tea being exported to America or imported to America, if you want to put it like we're on our side, was actually lower. Now, colonists said, hey, we got a principle that it's unjust for the parliament to tax them at all because they're not represented in the parliament. Today people would say, oh, it's lower, I don't care. That's what they would do. And what they did is they didn't just throw a few of the barrels of tea over the board. They threw 42 tons of tea from all three ships, were dumped into the harbor, and so much into the water of Boston Harbor that the water was brown for a week. And also caused that, since the tea was destroyed, there was no tax that could be collected on it. So the government lost revenue. Now, this was actually frowned upon. This act of retribution against the tea was frowned upon by most Americans till at least 100 years later, because it was destroying private property. A lot of people don't know that. Isn't that interesting? So anyway, that goes to show you how different our ancestors were. Now let me put it to you this way. It'd be my ancestors. And I can tell you one word why New Jersey puts up with all this garbage. It is demographics. The actual physical makeup of the population of New Jersey they're not the people that were the people that settled New Jersey. They would have never put up with the crap that Phil Murphy's. He would have never got to first base. I mean, nobody. I mean, anybody in a position of authority would be thrown out of that state. Anyway, here's the Jersey Devil. That's one of your saving graces. Now, actually, in Maryland and in the state of Virginia, well outside of Washington, D.C., they have what they call the Snallygaster. This thing probably is legit. Some of the eyewitnesses are garbage, but then not all of them are. Now, of course, this is probably some kind of fake picture here, but that's probably a good representation of what it looks like. And actually, I have some pictures from the war between the states where, some people say it was a doctored photo. It was not a doctored photo. This is probably a doctored photo, but it was not a doctored photo whereby it looked like a prehistoric bird or something. A lot of these things could probably still exist today. They're probably left over from an earlier time, and maybe they live in caves and they're not that numerous. But we got a large cave system in the United States that spans the whole United States, goes all the way down to Mexico, and it goes miles deep. Like you look at, I think it was the Mammoth Cavern in Kentucky. They have no idea how deep that goes, and you got this all over the place. So, it's food for thought. But if you want to be really crafty, and this would be a little bit different from the Boston Tea Party, and it wouldn't really create any harm. But if you have, a drone, everybody's got drones now. You can dress it up like a Jersey Devil, and fill it up with little sludge turds from the Raritan River, and have the eyes light up like red lasers. Here it is coming down on one of these bullshit politicians trying to raise taxes again. Lands right up square on his freaking forehead. Doesn't need to be a big turd as long as it's accurate. But the deal is like people have not been fighting back much in New Jersey. I don't know what the hell. Well, you know what it is. I think a lot of people. You got the payers and you got the ones that are receiving the benefits. So the ones that are receiving the benefits are voting in all these clowns. And I guess that begs another question because if you really want to freaking make a great government, where it's in the interest of. Not in other words, if only people who are earners, and property owners, or maybe just they could be earners. Maybe you can have a rent an apartment, whatever. But people actually earn money. They have the right to vote. People are actually on the grain dole. They don't have the right to vote because people who are on the grain dole will just keep voting for more grain, more benefits. That's why you're getting all this crap in, and it's destroying the incentive to work for the people on the top. New Jersey's actually really. It's almost ludicrous to think what happened since the Boston Tea Party to now. But maybe the Jersey Devil is your solution. Imagine this little creature coming up at a meeting, in a town meeting, and saying, I don't want my taxes raised. If you had it like something like this, like a little robotic figure, I would not dress up in his suit because the cops would probably shoot you and ventilate you. But, if you had a little robot coming up there and you had a little speaker in there, I do not want my rain tax on my property. Next thing, walk into the community meeting. Yeah, that would freaking raise some. But still, maybe they figure it out. But still, that would still be a great attention point, right? Wouldn't it? Yeah, Democrat Governor Phil Murphy. Don't like high taxes? Probably New Jersey. New Jersey's definitely not my state. But I said, I get away with it. You can do is like if you're in New Jersey, you get a property and you farm it. I think you got to have like a couple acres, and I think it's a $500 worth of revenue per year, or I don't know if it's revenue or profit. I think it's just revenue. Sale of agricultural items, and you can qualify as a what do you call it? Agricultural property, and your real estate tax will be much lower. As a matter of fact, a lot of corporations do this type of stuff. They'll have you'll see a corporation out there. It'll have some apple trees on it, on the acres of ground, and there's this big corporate building back there. They do this in other states too. They'll qualify as agricultural property, and they'll get away with paying mega taxes. Well, they talk about getting away with getting not paying mega taxes. Amazon gets taxes back. I think it was like I forgot how many millions. I thought it was 400 million. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe it's 4 million, but they got millions of dollars back from the government. Amazon, they don't pay nothing. Phil Murphy. Yeah, Phil Murphy needs one of them Raritan turd balls coming off the diver bomber bay of the freaking Jersey pterodactyl devil, right smack on his nose and his teeth and his forehead. This guy's a freaking work of art. I can't imagine. It's amazing about this guy. I cannot believe the fact that this is a guy that's in business. He worked for Goldman Sachs and all that stuff. And you would think he was a guy that would be for lower taxes. I mean, a lifelong politician, you can see why they're stupid, right? Because they never been in business. But this guy's been in business. Yeah, the New Jersey rain tax. This was runoff on if you have a large driveway, or I don't know, maybe you have a big large patio or something like that, or maybe you have a little tennis court on your property or something like that. And well, we're gonna charge you for the runoff from your paved surface on your property. God, I know what they're gonna do next. They're gonna charge you for your air. But Boston Tea Party. I mean, it's amazing. This was actually lower prices on tea. They didn't like the fact that they weren't being represented. And 42 tons. That's not by a forklift. That's just a bunch of guys getting there dressed up in costumes and stuff so they couldn't recognize me more or less. And they threw all this stuff overboard, man. And they said back then, even like you said, this was actually Americans. In fact, many Americans looked down upon the event for the first several decades after the Revolutionary War because it involved the destruction of private property. But eventually, though, it became the event that represented a moment of pride in American history. But this reminds me of even like, it reminds me of this act. This is like an act of pride today in the American Revolution, right? Dumping the tea, even though the tea was cheaper. Well, most people don't get that. They think they jacked the price of tea way the hell up. No, they took the tax off the East India Company, so the East India Company was able to lower the price of tea, and they were going to collect the tax directly at the point of sale when it was unloaded. So they wouldn't let them unload the tea. So then they finally said, okay, you're going to sit those ships out there until we unload the tea. We went up there on a thing and we threw the tea overboard. Nobody, now today, a conservative would never do this in a million years. They'd be like, they're weenies. They're weenies. That's why, the side that's even supposedly against the big guys, the side that is supposedly for the people, these quote-unquote conservatives, they're weenies. They're weenies compared to the American revolutionaries. No way in hell. But anyway, that's just my idea. You can have a Jersey Devil walking version, drone version, a walking version, talking version. You get into those town hall meetings, talk to them, Yeah, I mean, you can even bring this guy up for gun control. Hey, look, suppose one of these things walks in the back of your yard. You need one. You need your gun. So you bring it in there, you freaking talk to him. It's a new talking point. That's the way to do it because you got to get a little humor out there. You got a little attention to the stuff. You got to knock out some of the seriousness, but then you got to stick to your guns about the main point too. That's the other thing. I mean, it can't be just all a joke, but sometimes to hit them from obliques like this is a good way to do it. I do like the idea of the Jersey Devil drone. And like I said, you can fill it up with little sludge balls from the Raritan River. You could be like a drone dive bomber, coming in there with stink bombs on, these freaking crooked politicians. Goodbye. One square, the politician probably wouldn't even notice it because they stink so bad as it is. But, the cameras would be rolling all of a sudden. Hey, Phil Murphy, what's that turd sitting on the top of your head? Hey, it's the Jersey Devil. Did it again. He don't like you. You're out. You've been now impeached. You've been impeached by the Jersey Devil. And they'd have the cameras rolling, CNN be out there, crooked Nazi news, whatever the hell they are. And, yeah. But I got no intention of going back to New Jersey. I can tell you that right now. Actually, my intention is to go to the mountains in Georgia. I got my property. I got my almost 10 acres of property up there in the mountains of Tennessee. Ain't been up there yet, but anyway. That's because I got my kitty cats over here, man. I can't leave my kitty cats. I've been up there already if I wasn't for that. I gotta take care of these kitty cats. Anyway, so anyway, this is what you got to get some cojones. See this guy here. Yeah, this guy walking in one of them freaking town hall meetings with Phil Murphy. Shut up right away. Shut up right away. But just to illustrate, I wanted to bring up that thing about the Boston Tea Party. I know everybody knows about it, but they don't realize. Again, I'm saying it for the 5th time. The price of tea was actually lower because of the way they took the tax off the British East India Company, and the tax was going to be collected at the point of sale or when it was disembarked from the ships, and the overall effect was lower prices of tea. The colonists didn't even want that. Could you imagine what anybody today bitching about that? No, I mean this is how different we are. People back then didn't put up with crap. You see what I mean? And the most people, like did, maybe today you got a few of them out there that don't put up with crap. But yeah, anyway, home of the Jersey Devil. Yeah, that's what you need, man. You need one of these things. You need one of these logs in your driveway, so come up there and try to come in your property. They can't go in there too easy. Yeah, you got to get set up. Anyway, over and out. Just food for thought. And another angle on fighting the power. Over and out.